Pro Quo is my first original song I published on this channel. It's also my most elaborate video to date. I wanted to write a Halloween song because there's just not enough Halloween music out there. So here's a little making up to show you how the song and music video came to be. The song was inspired by the legend of Robert Johnson meeting the devil at the crossroads, and the countless other stories of people making deals with the devil. But I wanted to do a variation on the myth and ask, what if the devil didn't end up with the upper hand? I wrote the chorus first and then ended up completing the story a few months after, because it turns out it's not actually that easy figuring out a way to beat the devil. This summer I was talking with my friends Kay and Marielle, whom I met in film school, and both of whom are incredible filmmakers who are able to make small budgets look like $1 million. Kay has a background in magic and practical effects, and she told me, I think I figured out a way to make you float if ever you wanted to do a Halloween video or something. And I thought, well, if we're gonna do an elaborate video, might as well do original song instead of a cover. And that was the push in the back that I needed to finally finalize this song that was in half demo state. So I ended up re-recording everything, most of which in my bedroom. I played the harp, the keyboards, I did the vocals, obviously. I also played the cello, which I only really started earlier this year. I briefly thought about buying a drum set and learning to play the drums just for this song. And then reason caught up with me and I realized that was absolutely unrealistic. There's limits to what I can do by myself. And finally I ended up working with Freddie, an amazing drummer who brought so much life to the song. And watching him play, I was like, this is really hard. Why did I think I could do this myself? So the lesson here is it's okay to delegate. Still learning that. So in parallel with working on the song, Kay and I were working on the video, which we both co-directed. We worked on the storyline and the atmosphere together, but Kay was instrumental in making the magic happen. Literally. So we wanted to construct a storyline that integrated the levitation in a way that paralleled the storyline of the song, which is about the apparent loss of power only to end up with the upper hand. Kay and I were wondering, should we do horizontal or vertical levitation? And both of us like to tremendously complicate our lives, so we decided, why not do both? Easy peasy. Over the course of the month of August, I storyboarded the entire video to make sure that we could tell this story in a way that was feasible. It also served as a great checklist while we were shooting to make sure that we didn't forget anything. We also had Marielle as an assistant director on set who was incredibly helpful in making sure that we were able to get everything in the limited time that we had. The vertical levitation took a lot of brainstorming. We wanted something that looked good, obviously, but also that was safe. We were wondering, are we going to do some sort of suspension system with a pulley? Are we going to do a seesaw that goes up and down? And finally, Kay dug up a sturdy metal rig that she had built for a performance art piece a few years back. And she stuck a 5.5-foot pole with a bicycle seat on top, and that's what I was sitting on. So I really was up in the air, no green screen. We wanted to shoot in the forest as opposed to with a green screen because we thought it would sell the effect better with the sunlight streaming through the trees. So I had to move my body in a way that felt kind of floaty and not make it obvious that I was sitting in one spot. So while we were shooting, we had a ladder on one side and a tripod on the other, where I could rest my feet between takes to keep my balance because it is quite high up. The horizontal levitation was a little bit easier to do. We took the same metal base as for the vertical levitation, but we swapped out the pole and instead put a metal brace that had a padded piece of plywood on it. It is a very good ab workout. My body was in pain for about a week. It was also the shot that gave us the most work in post-production to erase the entire structure. Kay and I spent 2 days in a basement working with special effects, slowly going crazy and trying to make me fly. The arm branches were a little bit easier to do. Those were just a simple split screen with me waving them around. We also sprinkled in a few smaller effects as well to make the forest feel like a really creepy magical place, like the clouds going faster than normal, or the prism effect as I walk through the forest. We shot in September, but we did some color grading to make the leaves look a little bit more orangey. Quite a few people commented on the opening shot being a reference to Christina's World, which is one of my favorite paintings, which I've been wanting to recreate for the longest time, and finally this project was a good excuse to do it. We also paid homage to the Waterhouse painting The Magic Circle, and I guess you could say the piano hands were somewhat inspired by the Addams Family. All the instrumental shots were filmed at my place, with a black background and me wearing a black bodysuit to make my body disappear and only have my arms and hands visible. I looked extremely dignified, as you can see here. Our last day of shooting was at Kay and Marielle's apartment with their cat Jessie, aka the real star of the video. So I am quite allergic to cats. My main symptom is drowsiness, which is not ideal when you're shooting a video, but she was worth it. I mean, just look at her, she's so cute. I love that she's not a wide-eyed kitten. She's a wise elder cat who seems to know way more than anyone else. There were 2 lines where I really wanted a close-up of Jessie, which were the 2 lines that mentioned cats. And those were also the 2 lines where she kept fidgeting every single take. We finally got it, and Jessie was able to take a well-deserved nap. So that's it for Quid Pro Quo. If you haven't seen it already, go check it out. It's available to stream and download, and if you feel so inclined, also check out my Patreon. There's some cool perks like behind the scenes, original artwork, sheet music, and audio downloads. And thank you so much to everyone supporting this channel on Patreon. You made this happen, and it wouldn't have been possible without you. So cheers, and see you next time.